How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its huge summer sale right now. Tons of deals are available. Already did a video looking at deals under the price of $5, but now we're upping that a little bit and we are taking a look at deals under $10. The under $10 category is actually ridiculous during this sale. So we have 15 games to go over, but trust me, there's a plethora of more on top of these, so let's just get right into it, and let's start things off with Batman Arkham Collection, 85% off for $9. Whenever this is available as a deal, it's one of the best deals in every sale. It's on, you get Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, all three games for $9. Is pretty ridiculous. This is one of the better trilogy of games that you're going to come across. I know there's Arkham Origins as well, but that was done by a different studio outside of Rocksteady. But these three games are fantastic. Arkham Asylum surprisingly holds up pretty well, and given that that game came out in 2009, I do find that to be pretty impressive. Arkham City is great, and Arkham Knight is very good as well. All three for $9 is definitely worthwhile, even if you're not a big Batman fan. Like, going back to 2009, I was not really into superheroes at all. And I loved Arkham Asylum when it initially came out. It's just a solid action-adventure game that I think anybody can get pretty into. Next up, we have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, 75% off for $9.99. How about that? Star Wars was another big franchise I was not a big fan of when I played Jedi Fallen Order. I had watched Rogue One, and now, in 2022, I'm finally getting into Star Wars fandom. Watching some of the movies, I'm still very much a novice, but going back to Jedi Fallen Order, it is a game that I really enjoyed. Visually, it's great to look at. On PlayStation 5, it runs really, really well. Atrocious map design aside, and I'm not even talking about the levels themselves, I'm just talking about the map when you actually look at the map. Not the best thing in the world, but it's still overall a very good game, and Jedi Survivor is scheduled for a release probably early next year, so now would be a great time to check out Jedi Fallen Order. It's a great game in its own right, and I liked Cal as a main character. I liked the story. And again, as, you know, a Star Wars novice, I still found it to be a very enjoyable action title. Alright, next up, gotta give a shout to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Yes, this is now available in PlayStation Plus Extra, so keep that in mind, but 70% off for $9 is a great deal. I just finished up my playthrough of this game, and did a bunch of the side content and whatnot, and man, Assassin's Creed 4 is still a tremendous game to me. I wish that it would have had a big upgrade on PlayStation 5. I think that would have been awesome. I played it on PC, so I played it, you know, with higher frame rates and whatnot, but yeah, Assassin's Creed 4 is a great title, and even when I initially played it on the PlayStation 4, I enjoyed it there as well. It just would be nice if it had some bells and whistles added to it on that version. Still, great game. Edward Kenway, one of the best main characters. Maybe the narrative isn't as, like, serious in tone, but I thought the humor was really great. I thought the story overall was pretty solid, and there was a cast of likable characters. So $9, I think, is a great buy for Black Flag, and the naval combat also quite good, and a ton of content in the game as well. Alright, next we have Dragon Ball FighterZ, 85% off for $9. Now, obviously, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a game that if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you're gonna enjoy it a little bit more, but it's just a really well-made fighting game from a technical standpoint, and you guys know Arc System Works, their titles just have incredible visual design. Aesthetically, the game looks awesome. Bear in mind that if you do buy this game, it's mostly more so for the multiplayer. I'm not even saying you have to go online and get really good at it. I'm just saying, you know, invite a couple friends over, have a good time with it, and I think you'll enjoy it from that aspect. There's some, you know, humorous moments in the single-player content, but really not worthwhile from that standpoint. Now, this is the base game. If you want a ton of the other content, obviously, there's a lot of characters locked behind DLC, which is a bit of a bummer, but you guys know that's kind of the world we live in now when it comes to fighting games, but $9 for DB Fighters I still think is quite good. I believe Fighters Pass 1 is the one that has Broly and Bardock, so maybe that's something you want to check out, but nonetheless, $9 for that, quite good. Alright, next up, we have The Evil Within 2, 80% off for $8. Very good deal for Evil Within 2. You know, you can play Evil Within 1, which is also on sale right now. That's $5, but Evil Within 2, solid narrative-focused survival horror title. I think atmospherically, the game is very well done, and it's Tango Gameworks, you know they're really good at creating a more immersive world. Even if the gameplay isn't like a slam dunk home run with their games, I feel like as far as world design and creating an immersive atmosphere, they do a really good job with that. They did that with Ghostwire Tokyo as well. So solid survival horror title here. $8 I think is the perfect price. Check out Evil Within 1 for $5 if you're interested, but definitely not a bad buy for Evil Within 2. Alright, next up we got Dragon Age Inquisition Game of the Year Edition, 80% off for $8. You know, Dragon Age Inquisition to many people is the last very good game that BioWare put out, and even with Dragon Age Inquisition, there are some people that aren't as hot about it as other people. I really enjoyed it as a RPG. I thought narratively it was strong. It has a ton of content. Like, if you want to do a lot of the content in this game, it's going to take you a significant amount of time, so maybe clear a couple weekends for this game, but a very enjoyable RPG. Visually, I still think it looks fairly decent, so for $8, not a bad buy. I would go and check that out. Alright, speaking of RPGs, moving on to the JRPG kind, want to give a shout to a couple of Tales of titles. Tales of Berseria is 50% off for $9.99, which this, I would say, pre-Arise was considered by many people to be the best of the Tales of titles, and even with Arise, maybe I overhype Arise a little bit, but you know, Tales of Berseria was a really strong game. A very compelling main character that's very different than other JRPG main characters. If you already have Tales of Berseria, I do also... Maybe I shouldn't mention it, but I will mention Tales of Zestiria is 85% off for $9. I don't know why the MSRP for that is still $60. That's just very strange. Zestiria is that game that many people consider to be the worst title in the Tales of series. There are still things to like about it. Like, I thought the combat was okay. I thought the story had some good parts to it. It's just, they made some very, very questionable decisions throughout the game, and the cast of characters definitely one of the weaker casts across all of the Tales of titles. Especially when you compare it to a Berseria, Vesperia, or an Arise. I thought Zestiria's cast just was not that strong. But if you played all the Tales of games, you like the style of game Tales of is, there's still fun to be had with Tales of Zestiria. I mean, it still follows a very similar formula and premise. So for $9, not a bad deal, and I thought I would give that a shout as well. Alright, next up, Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus, 80% off for $8. This is a fantastic deal and a significant discount for Wolfenstein II, which a lot of the times when Wolfenstein II does go on sale, $8 is not the price you see. You usually see like $16, $15, but $8 is a really good deal for Wolfenstein II. I would recommend you to play the New Order. New Order's a pretty solid game in its own right, and you guys know, if you're familiar with Wolfenstein, it does get a little bit wacky, a little bit over the top at times, but $8 for it, I think it's a very good single-player first-person shooter, so go check that out. I think that's a solid time, especially for that price. Next up, A Plague Tale Innocence, 75% off for $9.99. We talked about games being atmospheric and really immersing you into the world. A Plague Tale Innocence does a really good job of that. Now, when you're getting into this game, just know you're getting into a darker title, but this game is very story-driven, and what it does well is, I think for any game that's big strength is its story, you need to grip the player as early as you can, and with Plague Tale Innocence, I really feel like, give it 30 minutes and you're going to be hooked into the narrative, so I thought that was really well done. You know, short attention span these days, it's just a reality you gotta live with. But $9.99 for Plague Tale Innocence is great, and of course, I believe in October we're gonna get Plague Tale Requiem. So now definitely wouldn't be a bad time to check out A Plague Tale Innocence. $9.99 I think is a fairly good price as well. It was a PlayStation Plus title back in, I want to say, July of last year, something like that, like a while ago. So some of you guys might already have it, and the PlayStation 5 upgrade is quite nice as well, so definitely worthwhile pickup there. Next up, Middle-earth Shadow of War Definitive Edition, 85% off for $9. An excellent open-world action-adventure title. Lord of the Rings, not something I'm super into either, but another game I enjoy. It seems like these big IPs I just am not very into. Not I have anything against them, it's just I've never sat down and really immersed myself into it. But Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor was great, and Shadow of War is a solid follow-up to that. Great gameplay. The gameplay is super stylish, super responsive, and super satisfying as well. Obviously, a good bit of content in this game as well. Definitive Edition, it includes the additional content, and if you aren't sold by the $9 price point, there is a demo available, so you can get a taste of the game, and then ultimately buy it if you do want to, but $9 I think is a great price, so definitely go check that out. Alright, a couple more titles to round this video out. Valkyria Chronicles 4, 70% off for $9. This is a great buy for Valkyria Chronicles 4. Excellent story, excellent tactical gameplay, great art style that is very similar to Valkyria Chronicles 1, but Valkyria Chronicles 1 came out in 2008 and it still holds up pretty well from a visual standpoint. Aesthetically, it's just a gorgeous game. Great soundtrack as well, and it's a lengthy game. Like, even if you rush through the main story, like, it's gonna be a lengthy experience. And again, it's a war story that I feel like even if you're not the biggest fan of JRPGs, you can get into, and the tactical style gameplay that it has, very different than a lot of other JRPGs. But very good game, would recommend it at $9. Alright, next up, we got Uncharted the Nathan Drake Collection. Obviously, and plus extra, but 50% off for $9.99, I think is a tremendous buy for Uncharted the Nathan Drake Collection. Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. It'd be really nice if this included Golden Abyss as well, but hey, that might be a little bit too tall of an ask. But $9.99 for this is great. Uncharted 1 absolutely shows its age. I mean, everybody's gonna agree with you on that, but it's 15 years old. Not every game's gonna hold up over the course of 15 years. However, Uncharted 2 is 13 years old, and it shows its age here and there, but Uncharted 2 is still a tremendous game, and the pacing in that game is so good, the puzzles are good, gameplay solid, and probably the strongest of the Uncharted games. Like, I'm usually Uncharted 2 or Uncharted 4 are my favorite, but yeah, Uncharted 2 was tremendous. Uncharted 3, really good as well, so $9.99 to get all three of those, quite good. Next up, another JRPG, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, 85% off for $9. Awesome art style here. Gameplay isn't as compelling as I thought Ni no Kuni 1 was, but Ni no Kuni 2 is still solid, a lengthy JRPG. Charming cast of characters, pretty decent story here as well, so for $9, I think that's a really solid price for that. And then lastly, another survival horror game, Alien Isolation, the collection. That is 75% off for $9.99. Another game, very, very atmospheric, hooking you into the world, and I think that's very important for a horror game like this. Does the horror elements kind of, you know, wear off towards the end of the game? Yeah, but it's kind of hard to sustain that over the course of the entirety of the game. Include some DLC content in here as well. If you don't want that, you can get the base game for $7.49, but $9.99 for Alien Isolation, the collection, I think is quite good. So that is gonna do it for me. Again, a bevy of great deals available right now, and we definitely got to do a video on, like, games that are a little bit cheaper because, or, excuse me, games that are a little bit more expensive, like above $10, because there's a lot of great stuff on sale in that price range. Like, I saw Disco Elysium was at $19.99, like, right off the top of my head. That's a fantastic deal. Well, we'll get to that when we get to it. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.